Okay, so another project today. On the deck here is a Killer Instinct 2 conversion. Now I say conversion because this is an MK4 cabinet, and then somebody at some point converted it to an Area 51, and for some reason they put the instruction decal or the power-up decal, whatever you want to call it, around the coin door harness. But anyway, so this was a MK4 converted to Area 51. That the original owner of this, I picked this up locally, and his intention was to convert it to Killer Instinct. So he did all the cabinet prep, he sanded the entire cabinet down, did a full coat of white primer, sanded that, a full coat of gray primer, sanded that. So he fortunately did all of the cabinet work for me. But where he ran into a snag was that he bought all of the artwork for Killer Instinct 1, or the first Killer Instinct. Side art, control panel art, marquee, CPO, bezel, the whole 9 yards. And then he goes to test the PCB that he bought, and it turns out it was Killer Instinct 2. And he didn't want to deal with trying to return it, find a Killer Instinct 1 board, buy all new artwork again, another $500 or whatever for artwork. He didn't want to go through the hassle of trying to sell everything that he bought for KI1 and buy everything over again for KI2, find a KI2 board. I'm sorry, a KI1 board. Didn't want to deal with any of that, so he's like, you know what, I'm just going to get rid of it. So he contacted me, asked if I wanted it. I said absolutely. So he gave me the cabinet and the Killer Instinct 2 board and all the parts and pieces. I've stripped it all down. Everything's actually, got a brand new back door, but all the parts and pieces are sitting here. That was on the inside, coin doors and stuff. But he gave me the machine with all the parts and pieces. The monitor, I think there was no monitor, if I recall. It's been sitting over here in the garage for the longest time. I do not believe I got a monitor for it, but that's okay. I have a monitor already, so we're going to throw one of those in. That's I think I put a U2000. I got a U2000 already built and rejuvenated and adjusted for the KI2 board and everything ready to drop in. And I got all of the artwork package, courtesy of Jeff West from XL Arcade, full side art. CPO, CP front, sides, marquee, and then my personal designed bezel. He even gave me the KI2 manual that I actually already had, and then K4 I already had. And then there's all the parts and pieces. So we are ready to start cooking on this thing. What I need to do first is give it a nice good wipe down. I've already gone through and sanded it a third time. Off camera, I did another full sanding on the front and the sides, and it's ready to go. I just need to give it a wipe down, and we can put the art on. But before we do that, I have to give this front a wipe down and paint it black along with the sides, and also paint the areas black along the inside here. And I'm gonna have to take this off. I forgot to take that off. We'll take that off. And, you know, paint, even though the art is gonna be wrapped around here, I'm gonna paint all this black as well. And areas like this I need to hit with black. So we're going to do that first. Paint all this black, get this cleaned up, and all the around the trim and the edges. We'll get this off of here and paint this black so while it's drying we can do all the rest of the artwork and everything. And the back's actually not bad. The back's in decent shape. It had a big gouge here from being drugged on the back of a bed of a truck, so that got sanded down and painted. I'm not sure if I really want to even bother with trying to fix this. I mean, it's not too bad as it is. So sorry about the background over the, what's the word? I forget. There's too much white in the background, sorry. So you can see this overexposure. You can see that this is bad, but I don't know if I want to deal with, you know, because I would have to actually putty all this and sand it. I don't know if I want to deal with that. It's 104 degrees right now. The handles got taken out, and all this got painted, so I have all that as well. The inside's a mess, but that's nothing I can't tackle. So fortunately all the harness holders are there, and the original board is there for everything to mount to. I have the original fan and everything, so it's all good to go. I just need to shoot the black around the trim and the edges and the outside and the front, and then we can start putting the artwork on. So the original owner of this saved me a lot of effort by doing all the cabinet prep himself, and he went to test it. Fortunately, he didn't put the artwork on, his KI1 artwork. Fortunately, he didn't put it on before he realized that he actually had a KI2 board. So, like I say, he didn't want to deal with trying to return the KI1 art and all that stuff and find a KI1 board. He just said, forget it. And he contacted me, and I said, I will take it. So, KI2 conversion from MK4. Now, I will say MK4 is about a 1/4 inch wider than KI2. So I need to put maybe a 1/2 inch of paint black along the edge here. because the artwork along the edge and it's going to be black on both sides. So for instance, this side here is that side, and if we look here, it's going to be black along the edge. So just painting the edge black is going to hide that. I don't think anybody, unless you're directly like, oh, I'm going to inspect this area there, you wouldn't even ever notice. So it won't be a big deal. I forgot to inform Jeff when he printed the art that this was MK4, so not a showstopper. So let me show you the control panel. He actually got the control panel artwork already done on the sides. He sanded down and did the sides, so we don't have to do with the sides. Those are actually done. I got that in prep here. So the sides are done, but the front's been primered and sanded, and I actually hit it already. I hit the sides here already with the blacks and then sanded it down a bit more. So this is ready to put on. I'd like to paint the inside here too, so we'll take care of that. We have a brand new Lexan, brand new metal CPO control panel here, original control panel here. So we are ready to go. So let's get the camera up on the tripod and do a little painting here and then get the artwork on. So one big long montage. Alright, well that pretty much completes the project. The whole video there was just one big long time lapse because it really didn't need a lot. I mean, most of the major cabinet work was already done. I just did the final prep work and got the artwork on now. This artwork just fought me tooth and nail. I've never had it be this problematic before, but it just turned out fantastic. Even with all the problems I had, I was able to get it to lay flat, no creases, no damage. I mean, it's just factory fresh and unbelievable condition and shape. It just turned out beyond my expectations. Now, I will point out here that I mentioned before it's about a 1/4 inch too short, but as you can see, it's almost completely indistinguishable and unintelligible. Unintelligible, is that the right word? I don't think so. It's indistinguishable from the edge of the actual artwork, so it turned out fantastic. Now, the sides here are actually KI1. Like I say, the original owner of this thought it was a Killer Instinct 1 board that he had, and it was turned out to be KI2, which is why he had been in the project. But KI1 has the gray inlay around here, and KI2 just has a bit darker and blackish. I don't really want to have to replace all this, so I'm just going to leave this here. I have the KI2, the proper KI2 ones, but because it's going into a public environment, at the arcade, I'm not really going to worry about it being that accurate. I mean, that way in the future, if someone does ding or gouges, I have an extra one to replace it with. So I'm going to keep the actual real correct KI2 ones on hand and just leave the KI1 sides on here. But it's just, the result on this is just, it blows me away. One of the best turnouts I think I've ever had on side art replacement. And you can't even see the MK4 stuff behind it. That's the importance of doing the, you know, I haven't really done that in the past, but if you sand it down and you put the white primer and then the gray primer and do a bunch of sanding in between, when you put the artwork on, you won't see any of the original artwork underneath the new stuff. And that's really the proper way to do it. And I haven't really been doing that in the past, but for this one, that's what happened, and it turned out really great. This side as well, just phenomenal. And there is one issue that I'll point out here shortly, but I mean, you can't see any of the original MK4 behind it, and just, you saw me fighting this artwork, and despite all that issue, it turned out awesomely. Now, ideally, I'd have two people helping, or I'd have two people, somebody holding the artwork taut while I laid it down and did, you know, left and right and left and just moved it up, but I'm by myself. I don't have anybody to help me, so despite all that, you know, of course there's other ways to do it. Leave it on the roll and unroll it as you lay it down. It's just too complicated for one person to do, in my opinion. So, but despite all that, it turned out absolutely perfect. So the only flaw is the control panel overlay. The control panel overlay is a gloss laminate, and when you put the Lexan over the gloss laminate, you get stuff like this, where it looks like there's water underneath here. In full disclosure, I'm showing you this because in the future, if you guys go through this, you'll know what to do. You want to get a matte laminate on your CPO, because if you get a gloss laminate, you end up with stuff like this where it looks like there's water or something spilled underneath, and it's all over. And it's even around the buttons, you can see. So there's really not anything that you can do about it. You know, it's going into a public environment again, and 6 months from now someone could spill something on it, which requires a new CPO anyway. So I am not going to, this is not a detrimental setback, because it might need replaced 6 months from now anyway, and it's going to be dark and there's an atmosphere in the arcade and all that stuff, so it's not going to be noticeable. No one's going to care, no one's going to see, and it won't be a big deal. But this is an issue. So in the future, if you get a new CPO, make sure you order it with matte laminate or no laminate at all, and that will keep this from happening. But that's the only real issue on the entire project, is that right there. But otherwise, everything went flawlessly. I need to get locks that match the arcade, so don't worry about that. That's not going to be anything that needs to be completed before the end of the video here. But yeah, just blown away by how fantastic this all turned out. And it's going to be hard to really show how good this is with the reflections and stuff. And we'll close the garage door, turn the lights on, get a best look as we can. Probably get it outside and look at it out in the sun. But my custom bezel installed, completely rebuilt and refurbished, U2000 rejuvenated, working fantastic, already preset to dimensions and size and colors and everything for KI2. New buttons, new joysticks, hap sticks, which are good for the whole full circle movements. I don't like them for MK because MK is like back, forward, up, down. I like the hap controls for those, but for Street Fighter and KI2 and KI games where you have to do full circle and half circle stuff, the haps, I'm sorry, why did I just forget the IL Euro stick? I'm sorry. It's 104 degrees and I'm losing my mind. These are the IL Euro sticks, which are good for the full circle, half circle stuff. And the hap sticks I like for the MK games. So anyway, you get the idea. Sorry about all that. New security screws, of course, all new T-molding. And I'm just blown away. And I mentioned before taking this off and painting it, but I went ahead and just painted it when it was on the cabinet. So that turned out awesome as well. The inside is looking factory fresh as well. Brand new power supply, threw the manual in there. All the wire cable management was put back to factory standards, the way it was from the factory. I got the board mounted. I removed that other board that was here because it wasn't supposed to be there. I don't think it was anyway. I got a fan installed to blow on the CPU. It's got the compact flash card installed properly. Everything's properly grounded. Everything's properly hooked up. Looking factory fresh. And last but not least, I got all of the decals installed, the warranty stickers and serial number stickers, because this was still on here on the panel, 278612. The 447 is common across most of the Killer Instinct games, but so this was still factory on here, and I used that to remake all of the decals. As you saw, there's one that's supposed to be under there, got that on there. There is one that's supposed to be on the down there, the power, I got that done. On the monitor bracket, got that done. Right there, got that done. Oh, and up here, got that one done. So yeah, this is now a factory fresh machine, so to speak. The back door was missing when the previous owner got the cabinet, so he made one from scratch. And it just screws in place. He got the holes and the bracketry and everything for the original mounting plates, you know, the plate that goes up behind here that you put the lock through and all that. I have all that over to the side, but I'm not sure I really want to even bother reinstalling it, because I can just put this in place here. And just screw it in all four corners, and it's fine the way that it is. Oh, screw fell out. So I may just screw it in, leave it in, not worry about all the rest of that stuff. But another screw. Got to remember that 2 screws fell out. Got to remember that. All right. Okay, so brand new power supply. Whenever you put a new power supply in, you always want to check your voltages at the connector before powering up your PCB. In case it's too low, too high, you damage something, you always want to leave the JAMA harness unplugged. Turn it on, grab a meter, make sure your voltages are good, set it as you need to, and then hook it up. So you saw me doing all that, and then I used a Rampage World Tour PCB for testing. In case something was haywire, I didn't want to blow up the KI2 board, and that all passed with flying colors. Got the voltages adjusted and set, everything was working fine, so I plugged the KI2 in, and it booted right up, and it works perfectly. So I got all the original connections hooked up, the coin door wires, the kick harness, JAMA harness, and like I say, everything is routed and hooked up and connected, and you couldn't have asked for a better turnout. So yeah, let's get the back door on, finalize the close up, and then we'll do some beauty shots, and then we'll turn it on and give a little play here. So let's go. Actually, I forgot to mention one thing. The lockdown brackets here, The original factory location was right here, but the problem is on the MK4, the latches have been moved from the middle here that would have originally lined up with here. They've been moved to the back. So instead of taking the screws out and bondoing and moving it over and doing all that, I just relocated the bracket from here to here. So a couple of screws here and a couple of security screws there. Same thing on this side. So I relocated it from the factory spot to here. There's my ground blade that keeps it from opening too far and grounds the panel. So I moved those to the proper location. Now they line up with the actual latches. So I haven't obviously latched it down yet in case we do some gameplay or something needs checked or refitted. I can open it up, but yeah, so I did test them. They do latch, but I wanted to point that out because I had to relocate these. So they do latch. It does hold it down tight, nice and strong, but I forgot to mention that. So, okay, now let's get it outside for some beauty showcasing, and then we'll get it inside for some gameplay. All right, so I've already done the description and talking over this about all the work that went into it, so I'm not going to really talk here. I'm just going to show it off here. So just beyond my expectations on the turnout. Really awesome. Yep, could not have asked for a better result. It's going to be hard to really show this, I think, because of the reflection, but it appears to be not too bad. The sun's in just the right spot where it's not giving too much of a washout, so to speak. So bezel and marquee is just ridiculously awesome. Glass cleaned up nice and good. The ballast works and everything, or the light works, the whole thing lights up the way it's supposed to. So there we go. So let's get it inside, turn it on, do a little playthrough here. Well, maybe not a whole playthrough. I'm not any good at KI2, but we'll give it some gameplay, make sure everything works and controls and all that, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, so here we go. Killer Instinct 2. First gameplay after restoration slash, I guess, conversion. Not really restoration, conversion. I don't have the attract sounds on, but as you can see, the monitor is beautiful. So let's hit start.
Killer Instinct.
Now, when I say I'm no good at KI2 or KI, I mean that because I know nothing. I know no combos, I know nothing. Now, the overhead light here is going to turn off here in a moment, so hopefully gets a better picture when that happens. There it goes. Endofurican, whatever he says. I can't get the Hadouken to work.
Sailor Moon. Fight on.
I'm not ready. You can cancel that? How'd that happen?
Awesome victory. Delicious. Fight on. Ready.
Wow.
GG combo. Fight on. Ready.
definitely not beating Tusk. I'm calling that right now. What'd I say? That was 3 in a row with 1 hit or less. That's crazy. Better than expected, I'll tell you that. Here we go. Mistake. Oh, hey, still alive. This is unbelievable. Didn't make that one. We'll try one more time. One time. That's unexpected. I would have thought I'd be dead long ago. Well, there you go, guys and gals. Complete. The whole thing is done now. Even went through a whole full play, only had to continue one time. Wow. And I'll show you something else here. If I can find the, there it is. Even the coin door lights work, so. Truly amazing. All right, everybody, so thanks for watching, and I got another project here right on the heels of this one, so stay tuned to see what that is. Thanks very much. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.